very forceful and very dramatic and impress upon our governor just how important this is.
Were you prepared? How long were you prepared to stay? Do you have a radical past, Jack McEneny, that I don't know about?
A little bit. Don't forget, my first election was a write-in election.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
so
right.
you know, every now and then that spirit rises up on it. But they were saving. I understood from one of the sergeant-at-arms they were saving all the uneaten cheese cubes and crackers in case they had to send it in, because we were prepared to turn it into a sit-in, and the governor was more than gracious with an hour's time, and in fact gave us free water.
Free water?
Free water.
Bottled or tap?
It was bottled.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well,
yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah.
And actually there's a deposit on that now.
Well, yes. It's,
so he didn't make you pay, but
he didn't.
That was very generous.
We had to leave the bottles there.
Okay, so now what happens? You actually people did, not yourself obviously because you live here, but people did go home. They went back to the district. So the legislature's not staying
for 5 days. Some of them, if you go in on any day, there's some that do catch-up work, particularly this time of day. Like I was down at the Capitol until 9:30 or so, just making phone calls to a number of people who made their generally angry and disappointed phone calls to me for voting to keep the government running, and from their point of view, running out on the people to receive the furlough. So they have to explain that to people.
Well, it also seemed a little bit disingenuous that there were so many people saying this is illegal and yet I'm voting for it anyway. It seemed jarring, and I think difficult for people to understand. A government shutdown, what would that look like? I mean, obviously you have to keep the jails open, you have to keep the state police open, so you shut down the DMV. Okay.
Oh, it's more than that. Checks for Medicaid reimbursement don't go out. There are hospitals in poor areas of this state that live from Medicaid reimbursement check to Medicaid reimbursement check. There are nursing homes that rely on that check to meet payroll. And most of all, the most immediate thing, the reason you didn't have a couple of days to stall and to posture is that the unemployment insurance checks, there's 800,000 people unemployed in the state, 600,000 of them, some of them for a very long time, are looking forward to that check on Tuesday. And I would say a great many of them were stalling their landlords on the May 1st rent.
So let me just ask you this quickly. Next week, budget deal?
I would hope there would be a budget deal, but, you know, I've been around a long time. I know what it is to go without a paycheck for 4 months. If you can remember the Pataki years, of course, the legislators don't get paid until the budget is done. And I never predict where it's going, but when a governor says that he'd be willing to go over and talk to the conference with staff on Monday, you know, that's a question of timing. It's up to him and Shelley to negotiate. We did go back to Shelley Silver and a couple of his staff and told him exactly what went on, and we actually didn't learn anything that Shelley hadn't advised us of in conference of what the issues were anyway. There was a consistency from our point of view.
Well, at the very least, you got to blow off some steam and clear the air, and we'll be catching up with you on this story. Jack McEneny, thanks very much for coming in.
And I hope our constituents